And welcome back to the hottest marriage show in the world. It is I, John D. and
the do. I'm drinking some water. Dang.
Welcome back to Doing Too Much. It's where we have conversations that happen in our household that we feel like it's worth talking about so that we can somehow just use our experiences to help others since we are shooting from the hip. This marriage has been a complete journey, to say the least. But how are you doing today, though? How was your overall day?
I'm exhausted.
Why are you so exhausted? What's the difference between exhausted and tired? Are they synonyms?
No, it's all about shades of meaning. Tired, I'm tired. It's like I could keep going, but I lack a little bit of energy. But exhausted, it's like, stick a fork in me because I'm kind of done.
You're beat.
Oh, yeah, I'm beat. Definitely the only thing I have other than this conversation is Netflix and wine after this.
For sure. So, I just want you to know that people have been really telling me good things about our last episode. Marriage is a scam. So the reason why I'm enjoying conversations like this with you, because I feel like it's helped us evolve into a better relationship. And I want to know, what do you think is the most valuable things you should look for in a mate now, with all your experiences, now that you to get to this point, just recently you said that the things that I do now is what you had hoped for I was going to be doing in the beginning anyway. Mm-hmm. But what can you say would have, I know that we know that you wouldn't have picked me. We know that now. But with your experience with me, what would you say you would do this next time?
In selecting a person?
Yeah, somebody to be with, yeah.
Oh. I guess in order to select a person, I would have dated way more. So then I could have had a better understanding of the characteristics I'm looking for. I didn't date very much before I met you. And then I went to grad school and I was so focused. I think I went on one date during grad school if it wasn't with you. And so there are a number of things that I probably would have done. I definitely would have required monogamy for a while before moving into marriage. You and I, we kind of flip-flopped all across different steps to get here, but I would have required a time period where it would have just been us. And I think most people do that. It's just that we were a little unorthodox in how we found our way around.
Yeah.
I definitely would have done that. I don't think I would have lived with anybody because I like my space. But I think that would have been one of the things. And just seeing how they do with just one person. And ask those serious questions.
What is a serious question?
Like, I feel like if I were focused in being in a monogamous relationship for a while, there would have been, consistent interactions with families. So you could really pay attention to the dynamics of it. I personally would have paid more attention to their parents. Their relationship with their parents and their parents' relationship with one another.
For sure.
Because I learned that, we definitely picked up a lot of messages from the models that we had. And I guess I just looked at everybody as we were ourselves. We weren't our parents. But in a lot of ways, we are our parents. Mm-hmm. And golly, if I could have just had the time to really watch someone in their element of, like, to me, being in a monogamous relationship before marriage is your practice. It lets you know where somebody is. And sometimes people can be deceitful, or sometimes things just don't work. But yeah, I think I would have focused more on that. Like, really paying attention to someone who was
discipline.
Yeah. And the difference with you and that person, you were not trying to be in a monogamous relationship in the least bit. And I think that I knew that that was what I wanted, and I should have just gone with the path of least resistance and gone for somebody who was looking for the same thing I was looking for at the time that I was looking for it.
So it's crazy as it sounds, like you can look back and notice that you went again. I mean, you went the path with the most resistance. What was it?
What do you mean?
Why did you push so hard?
Because I was in love with potential, and I don't recommend it. I was in love with potential, and I'm going to be completely transparent. It was the competition. It was being the person that you looked for amongst however many others, and still having some level. And it's, trust me, I'm old enough to look back and say it's stupid. But you remember Moke and Steph? He's mine, you may have had him once. I hated that song because I thought it was so stupid, right? But not thinking of it in that sense of, she said, he might be doing you, but he's thinking about me. I never thought that. I want everybody to know. But in my head, I'm thinking, I was in love with the potential of who you were going to be. And I understood that there were other people who could see potential as well. And I really enjoyed the time with you. I really enjoyed, like, what I thought it was going to be. I loved even thinking about it. But some women will be like, I'm not going to sit here and compete for you. You don't have the time for me, then that's fine. No, I'm going to tell you, my upbringing, not because of my mother being this way, but my upbringing of watching others around me, there was this thing in my head that it was like, but I'm going to win. And I don't know why I wanted to do it. I don't know what it, like, there was nothing that let me know. No, you used to tell me you love me, and if you saw yourself getting married, you would marry me. And I think that just kind of held me in that holding pattern, because I was like, hey, I'm still winning. But it was just being a stupid, misled girl in love with potential. You should never be in love with potential.
Not ever.
But I was.
Well, I'm gonna just like look at it a little deeper. Look at it. What if you just felt like you were? I mean, apparently you were, right, but you were the one to be able to know that, look, I'm gonna be able to get him there. And you decided, like you said, it was competition, but I think it was probably yourself.
What do you mean?
I don't think you were worried about any other woman.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. So it was like, you know what? I am going to get him there.
Well, truthfully, if I had known the lengths I would have to go through, I wouldn't have done it.
Of course.
I didn't have the real understanding of what it meant to love somebody who has a certain potential, and you don't even know if that person wants to realize that potential. You could see it, but that don't mean that they want to get to that point. So it was really like, going in on a, what is it called? A fool's, I don't know. I want to say a fool's errand, or if I don't know. But really it was just like me going in hoping for the best. But I wasn't guaranteed nothing, and it was a heavy lift, and I didn't know it was going to be a heavy lift. I didn't know anything.
Looking back at it, does it look like it was supposed to be a heavy lift?
If I would have thought about the entire picture, yes. If I was just looking at you, no. But if I was looking at you and where you came from, the influences around you, the ones you'd had before, like everything that had led up to the person that I met, all of those, I wasn't paying attention to the other messages. I was only looking at the things that were blaring out at me. But there were certain things that were going on in the background that could have told me, Kanika, this is probably going to be more than what you're prepared for. But I didn't see that. I only saw you as you.
Do you think there are a lot of women like out there like you? They're chasing after the wrong idea.
Yeah, I do. Maybe not the way that I am. Ladies that may be listening, don't break your neck twirling like, no, she ain't talking about me. I may not be, but I do know that there are some women that fall in love with potential. I do know that there are some women that believe that all they need to know is in that man, and everything else is, inconsequential. I do. Not everybody.
Not everybody what?
Not everybody thinks that way, though.
No, I get it.
I envy them.
I'm just wondering, out of all of the messaging you've gotten out of relationships through your friends, family members, things you've seen on television, like, why do you believe marriages are 50% accurate as far as they stay married? Because it doesn't tell how many people are actually happy. But marriages, typically, it's like a 50-50 type thing.
Right.
And if we're talking about happiness, it's even less than 50%.
Yeah.
So what is it? What did we do? Because we were definitely on that road.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think can help people avoid that pitfall? Because I don't know anybody who wants to get married to want to do it again or say, I don't want to do it. They want to do it right the first time. What do you think can help people get closer to what they thought marriage was supposed to be? If they're not living it already.
Well,
is that tough?
Why don't you answer that first and then I'll come in?
Well, when I think about it, women already want the relationships. It's very rare that I meet a man that has it together. And then if he has it together, you can see why immediately. Like, you can talk to him and you can just hear how he thinks about life. You can see what's important to him and you can be like, oh, this is a different kind of person. Like, if people were to meet me now and they would listen to how I talk, I wouldn't talk like I know that I talk different. I know what kept people's attention before, and I know what can keep people's attention now, but the conversation is going to attract a different type of person. So I think that men have not matured to the point of understanding how important they are in the relationship because they are holding on to traditional societal norms and they haven't evolved yet. But women, they have conflicting messages also. But I believe that the intent of the woman is to make family better anyway. But I don't think men know how to do that. Like, they think because if I make a decent amount of wage and, my kids go here and we can travel, that's it. And that, we definitely found out that it's more than just the nuts and bolts of a man's job. Like last time when we talked about the responsibilities of a woman. Like, you guys have seen it before. You guys have done it. Men are just still copying somebody. So that's what I think. I think that men, that we haven't seen it before. We don't know what it's like. Things thinking about all of the men that I've interacted with, there's very few men that understand how important they are. And I don't know how to tell it to them where they receive the message, but all of us are just average humans copying each other. It takes effort or work to become something special. And just because you're born a man don't mean you know what it takes to be one. So when I was thinking about our relationship, how it's gotten to this point because we've worked for it. You helped me work, to get better. And I just think about how far we've come, like just in a matter of a year. And I'm like, just imagine if we were working like this at the beginning, where we would be now. So the relationship can get better. And I've never seen somebody tell me, even the most successful relationships, they don't say, keep working, it'll always get better. Like, that's for real, and anything you work on is supposed to get better. So why not work on a relationship? So when I think about it, before I got to this point, I used to think like we're married. We're good now. We're happy right now, but it was a stagnant happy. It was just like, we've gotten here to this point, but it's like, if you want it to continue to remain happy or get better, you have to work on it. And I don't think we know to do that. Sometimes when like women advise or suggest, hey, we should do this, it's like extra work for us. Like today was filled with so many productive activities that in my head I was like, golly. But I was like, I'm glad I did it, because like I don't know. Like I'm always trying to figure out why you're adding more things to the plate, but you're not. You're just making things look really nice for people to have, for people to be like my mama, or we feel real good about what it looks like. And I was like, everything is good. I'm basic. I'm simple as hell. And it's tough to break those behaviors when you like. I told you today, I was like, I think I like naturally I'm lazy, and I hate that. Look at this. But I don't want to be lazy like that. Like if I can think that in my own head, and I'm like, why is she pushing? And she talking about she exhausted. And I'm like, she ain't that exhausted. We doing all this work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang. But today was a beautiful day because of you, as crazy as it sounds. Like this was a day filled with boom, 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 boom. It was like real work. And we got to spend time with the kids. We spent time with each other. We talked, we walked the dogs. And it was like, this is how you become better in a relationship. You find ways and see how they think in different situations. And today, and I thank you. I really do. Like today was a dope day filled with work.
Yard work, hanging wallpaper.
Heck yeah.
Bowling.
Yeah, we went bowling, groceries, walked the dogs 3 times a day.
Walk the dogs.
And now we're here giving you this information because you can't get here without working it. Like I look at all of these people who are really good at their craft. I really want to be a good husband. And I don't think I got enough information out there that, the messages on what I need to do. So I'm going to force her to make me maybe become a better husband. You don't like this? Okay, tell me what I need to do for you to like it. Oh, this is what I want to share too. Not to get off of what we're talking about, but my wife sings a lot more than she has sung in a long time. And I told her today, I was like, hey, people sing because they happy. She said they do. I said, you've been singing a whole lot lately. And like, she don't realize it, but I know, like, remember when we talked in Abu, I was like, you don't even sing anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like you weren't happy. You weren't as happy as you could have been. And now I'm like, she's singing gospel music and like, she's like, I don't even know. I know what gospel sound like.
What song I was singing.
Yeah, but I just like, I'm happy to know that she's happier. And when, like they used to say happy life, happy wife, or happy wife, happy life. Like Like, if you can find out what makes her happy, why don't you just do it? And I think that was my thing. Like, I felt like I knew enough to make you happy, and that was good enough. And now I'm like, how can I make the happiness last just a little longer? And because, if everybody say tomorrow's not promised, then why don't I make you enjoy it if it's not promised? You're like, you know what? Today was a dope ass day. Like, I enjoyed this because he's doing these things. So to me, I really am happy that you decided to continue this journey with me, because Lord knows I was gonna be out here like a lost puppy that lost all this everything.
I was like, pew, about to be on some Heelys.
Heck, Cheryl, rolling.
Yeah, well.
So tell me, like, so I know you said you wouldn't want to learn about the background or whatnot, but like, you've been married more than 14 years now. You've been in a relationship with me longer than 20 years. So I know you said, you would have dated more, but reflecting back, like, what can you tell young ladies to I guess not be distracted by? You got distracted by what?
I got distracted by a charismatic person with a degree and good credit. Somebody with good credit, a degree, and a really nice smile. And, intimacy wise, you weren't lacking there at all. Like, so I was all kinds of matized over here. I'm not going to put the pre part on there, but I've learned that a man having a degree does not mean that he's going to be like, that's not the thing that is going to define whether or not somebody is going to be a good husband.
Not at all.
I've also learned that there are a lot of charismatic men I've met over the course of my life at this point that I would never want to be married to. So that in and of itself shouldn't have been, his smile used to glow, but that shouldn't have been it. Sex, it shouldn't have been just about sex, and good credit is always great. However, it shouldn't have been about that either. I think that when I looked at you on paper, you really, really looked good. And then I really enjoyed my time with you. And so it felt like I love hanging with him and he looks good on paper. So yeah. But the stuff that I used to measure when I say you look good on paper, like somebody can fix their credit. Somebody may have a career that they don't need a degree. I don't necessarily need someone super outgoing because I'm not. Like, it was like I was definitely drunk off of all of the things that you were really, really like you put at the forefront of who John D was. And then you turn around and he was like this wild, bold type of man. And then you understood that business wise, he understood how to take care of his finances. He understood that, how to find a job, keep a job, and grow in his job. And so it all looked good. But you got to scratch a little bit further down, because some of the things that I thought were important
were not.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, for sure.
So when I'm, I would just caution people on, or caution everybody on having that look good on paper person that you enjoy hanging with and not scratching below the surface.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff that's going to bite you once you're wrapped and tied up in the legal part of being married and mortgages and children and stuff. that's the stuff that bites you if you don't know it ahead of time, or if you're not realistic with yourself about what you can handle ahead of time. You might know it and walk right into that den, and it's too much.
Yeah.
You knew it was too much, but you did it anyway. Like,
I think that if we can get past our ego and pride, we probably be in less compromising situations. There's always some type of obstacle that you feel like, you know what, I want to get to the top of that mountain. And then you like, if you weigh the pros and cons, I think the pros were a lot better than the cons regardless for you. So I don't, I'm just saying, but if your consequence is worse than your prize or accomplishment, you shouldn't even be attempting to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So yours, I can say this. I know, like, I don't even know what you thought my potential was, but I don't believe you thought the way that I did my potential was. I had no idea that I was preventing myself from getting to whatever I thought I was supposed to be. But for you to see potential says I was doing the right thing then. I wasn't like, I don't know a man that says, you know what, I'm gonna fuck up all this potential. I want people to say, what did he do? Like, we don't know. We don't know that we're messing it up. We like, especially if you don't have anybody to tell you or see like where he's getting it from. Like, they was like, you can't really tell somebody who's moved through life without an example outside of like a coach or like, like a mentor. Like, they don't see that person day to day. So if you don't have a father, it's like that man is going to like, oh, I'm out here cold. I did all of this. And realistically, he did. You know what I'm saying? He had help along the way. He got people to protect him, but you don't think about all of that. You only think like, shoot, I did all this by myself. I worked, I did, what you did. So you gas yourself up, believing that you are worth more than you really are. That's why I used to talk to you the way that I did. Because I used to believe what I used to hear. Like, you got a degree, you got a job, you got a car, you got your own place, you travel. Like, to me, I felt like that was a solid resume for a young man to be able to be with anybody he wanted. But then when you look at it, it was like, that was just a distraction to get on the inside.
Yeah, you open a package and it's all oozing and rotten.
Damn. Yeah. But you know what? If you knew what the package was supposed to look like, you wouldn't have opened it. You would have left the package on the steps, but you didn't know what it looked like. So
that package, the package looked good in the mud. Open that mug up. Oh, it's spoiled.
Yeah. That was it was a tough realization that I had to come through. Like, damn, I'm regular as hell. I'm about as average as it gets. Like it ate me up. Like, to get to the point where like I can't believe that I'm out here not knowing what I'm doing. As a man, you think you moving right, and then you like, man, maybe you don't know what the hell you doing. So like, it's like, who was I supposed to go to with that one too? Like, hey man, I know that some of you guys think I'm doing well, but I'm not doing right for some reason. I'm not doing what I think I should be doing. Like, who's gonna come talk to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was seeking guidance from people that was older, but there's only so much information you can get from somebody that doesn't understand your own journey.
I mean, but just because people are older, they could be old fools. It doesn't mean that they're wise.
I get
old men. You know what I mean?
But you don't know that until you have a conversation and you feel like, okay, this is a little different.
But if they're old fools and they're confirming what you're doing is good or positive, or this is how it goes, all it does is continue to create more fools. So how do you know if you feel like what you're doing is okay?
Well, I'm saying my intent, if somebody's older than me and they give me the wrong information and I don't have anybody to verify with, like, I feel like God's supposed to protect me from that.
Oh, okay.
You don't
Well, I
think?
just feel like it's reinforcement that whatever you're doing, even if it's, trashy, then this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, cool.
Oh no, that was just me. Like I guess I understand what you're saying. I'm saying like if somebody were to come up to me, like I hope that I'm able to recognize, oh, this is some real game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like this person is trying to help me get to the next level versus trip up. So it's one of them things. But anybody you want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
I don't think so. Not today.
You still exhausted?
I'm so tired.
No doubt. Well, I appreciate you doing this episode with me. I
I
want to give a shout out to Matisse Marketing, owned by my best friend Jamie Lane, based out of Louisville, Kentucky. She's getting a lot of buzz and a lot of burn, and I'm proud of her. I want her to keep up the good work. Black-owned advertising based out of Louisville. Shout her out. But make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. Attack the day with relentless tenacity and build all opportunities to your will. Be great on purpose. Boom.
Boom.